Lots of NFL action to talk about today, lots of NFL topics. But number one on my list would be Joe Judge. Did you hear what the Giants coach had to say about Doug Peterson and the Philadelphia Eagles? Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Play it for him, please.
To me, you don't ever want to disrespect those players and their effort and disrespect the game. The sacrifices that they made to come into work every day and test before coming in, to sit in meetings spaced out, to wear masks, to have shields over those masks, to go through extensive protocols, to travel in unconventional ways, to get text messages at 6:30 in the morning telling them practice is going to be canceled. We have to do a virtual day. Okay, to tell them, please don't have your family over for Thanksgiving. Please avoid Christmas gatherings. We know it's your wife's birthday. Let's make sure we put that one off to the off season. There's a number of sacrifices that have been made by all the players and coaches in this league. There's a number of sacrifices that come along as well with the family members of the people connected to them. To disrespect the effort that everyone put forward to make this season a success for the National Football League, to disrespect the game by going out there and not competing for 60 minutes and doing everything you can to help those players win, we will never do that as long as I'm the head coach of the New York Giants.
All I gotta say, fellas, is I've been a Giants fan since I was a baby, watching them religiously. I never thought I could love someone as much as Bill Parcells or Tom Coughlin, but this Joe Judge guy looking like the real deal. Stephen A. Smith, Marcus Spears, Happy New Year. I haven't seen you since. Max Kellerman, good to see you all. Everybody looking dapper. We ready to do this?
Molly, what? I'm sorry to interrupt. First of all, Happy New Year again. It's really, really good to see my man Swagoo. I just want to know, Max, what the hell is he doing with those Space Cadet glasses on right there? I mean, don't they look like that? I don't know. Don't those glasses look like something straight out of the Jetsons from years ago? I'm just wondering. I'm just asking. That's some Space Cadet glasses. What's going on?
I wish I could see y'all.
Virtual reality goggles on.
I wish I could see y'all, but I had to transition from Get Up and didn't have time to put my return. But I'm sure both of y'all look ridiculous, except Molly.
There we go. There we go. All right.
Thank you, Marcus. Marcus, the frames are tight. They just don't understand it yet. They'll catch on.
Appreciate it, Molly.
Let's get this, guys. Joe Judge. Oh, my goodness. Would you relax, Mr. Smith? Joe Judge slamming Doug Peterson and the Eagles for essentially tanking the game versus Washington to get a better draft pick, referring to this as disrespecting the game. Max, this is serious. How do you think Judge's comments make the Eagles look?
Molly, there's a reason that you said love someone like love a coach the way I love Bill Parcells. Right? There's a reason you mentioned Coughlin. The Giants have had a lot of good coaches. But you picked those two because they're Super Bowl champions. Let me ask you guys something. If you hear what Joe Judge said, really about Doug Peterson, right? He doesn't have to drop his name. We know what he's talking about. Who would you say is the rookie head coach and who was the Super Bowl champion? I can't remember a time in my life, that maybe it's happened, but I couldn't recall any thinking about this question for the show today. I can't recall any head coach in any major sport talking about another head coach like that, particularly in the division, a divisional rival. But then on top of that, if someone were to talk like that, you would think they would have the equity built in. They would have the gravitas of having won a championship, not been in their first year. And certainly, if they were in their first year, the guy they're talking about wouldn't be a Super Bowl winner. But in fact, what this demonstrates, when a rookie head coach can talk about a Super Bowl winner like that in the division, and the whole world is like, that's exactly right. What that means is it's time for the Super Bowl champion coach to go, and the GM. And I've been saying this for quite a while now. After the whole Carson Wentz debacle, this is the final straw. But even had nothing occurred before this, this would be enough to strongly consider it. Guys, the reporting is the coaches and the players of the world watching that game, stunned by the move. If that head coach and that GM are still in place in the beginning of next season, how are you going to keep that locker room? Who's going to play for them? What this says about the Eagles is they are in full rebuild mode. It should have started the following morning. Following morning, it should have already happened. But they should be in full rebuild mode by this upcoming season. Guys, the only question is, do you believe Jalen Hurts can be the answer? Do you have a franchise quarterback with that guy you took in the second round? And that's what makes the move even more ridiculous. You want to see if your third stringer can do it? How about finding out if the guy you believe in can win a game on prime time like that, shorthanded? That's what you really needed to find out. So, yeah, maybe they have their quarterback in Jalen Hurts. Maybe they believe they do. Mean they actually do. But from the top down, they got to rebuild this thing.
Oh, shut up. I mean, please. I just asked the Max to go get me some tissue, okay? I mean, let me just wipe my eyes right now with that soliloquy. First Joe Judge, and then you just sit up there and blow your. I'll just stop it, okay? This is much ado, but I'm annoyed right now, and here's the reason why. We understand that the Eagles have had an awful, god-awful season. We get it. We understand it. We understand that, guess what? Doug Peterson, you're lying through your damn teeth talking about you were trying to win the game. You weren't trying to win the damn game. Look at who didn't play the game, for crying out loud. Even before you took Jalen Hurts out to start off the fourth quarter and bring in Sudfeld with his scrub self. We get all of that. But here's the thing. I don't want to hear this from Joe Judge, and I'm a fan of Joe Judge. Absolute fan. I was the one raving about him all season long. I told you this weeks ago, Molly. I said, this dude is really, really impressive. We know he comes from to this Sunday. You lost 3 in a row. You had control of your own destiny. What is it? Going into December 13th, they were 5-7. In first place. I saw Molly getting excited. I saw Max getting excited. We started talking about Big Blue, and then what happens? They lose to Arizona. They lose to Cleveland. They lose to Baltimore.
Quarterback got hurt.
And then 3 of those guys, I listen to you. Zip it. It's my turn, okay? You got 7, 6, and 13 points. That's a grand total of 26 points in 3 weeks after you were in first place. I'm going to roll with my brother, the playmaker, who went on the air somewhere yesterday and said he don't want to hear it. You had 16 weeks to validate your position, take care of yourself, and you were in control of your own destiny after week 12, and you blew it where you needed to rely on somebody within your division to come and save the day. It's one thing for you, Max Kellerman, to talk about the Eagles. It's another thing entirely to act like Joe Judge's animosity and his ire is justified. Look the hell in the mirror and be mad at your damn self for not getting the job done when you had an opportunity to do it. If you're just talking about Doug Peterson, hold on, Molly. If you're just talking about Doug Peterson, I get it. But to sit up here, if you're Joe Judge, and to talk about him like you waving pom-poms and stuff like that. They lost 3 of their last 4 games. That's on him.
Quarterback
You're being hypocritical. I know Max wants to get in here, but you got on Max yesterday about the whole tanking thing and bringing up the 76ers, and now you're acting like it's fine that Philly just mailed it in. And it's not okay. It is disrespecting the game, Stephen A.
Well, first of all, thank you, Molly. If you want to join this debate, I'm more than happy to address you. I am not being hypocritical.
It's just
hold on. Listen, you brought up a point. I'm answering you, Molly. I'm coming right at you. This is me talking to Molly, the lovely Molly Cameron Rose. You are wrong because I am not hypocritical, not in the slightest. When me talking about Max tanking, I'm not saying it's all right what Philadelphia did. I am saying I don't want to hear from Joe Judge about it. I didn't sit up there and say it's okay for Philadelphia to do what they did. I'm saying Joe Judge talking about it after you enter the game, losing 3 straight.
Joe Judge is talking about the integrity of the game.
You. That's what you, Joe Judge.
Yeah,
you
Max,
should complain,
here.
but not him.
And y'all let me know when I can go.
Go ahead.
That last comment by you, Max, the integrity of the game. What is that? Tell me what that is in this season. Because look, Joe Judge is only talking about this because it's the Eagles. If it was the Ravens or the Chiefs or the Browns or anybody else outside of that division, Joe Judge wouldn't have had that same energy towards it because it was about them winning to get in the playoffs. That's the bottom line. He wouldn't have said nothing about it if another team did it. And integrity of the game, this is the part that's driving me crazy. The integrity of the game piece of it. Because to me, like the integrity of the game, when you look at this season in totality, was already in flux. When you start thinking about the things that transpired. Denver played a week without a quarterback on their roster. If the integrity of the game was so important, wouldn't the NFL just say, hey, we're not going to allow this game to be played? When we had all of the COVID protocol stuff with the Tennessee Titans and the Baltimore Ravens, and people were talking about canceling the game. Max, you said on this show before the season started and said the NFL ain't going to be able to finish. They shouldn't even be playing because of the integrity of the game. So Joe Judge comes up and says the integrity of the game is under attack because Doug Peterson plays Suffield is a bit much, Max. That's a bit much for Joe Judge to say the integrity of the game was compromised when Carson Wentz wasn't even dressed out for the game.
You and I can disagree about stuff, and we often do. But this is the weakest point I've heard you argue. Are you actually saying that because we're in a pandemic and we have to accept things aren't going to be perfect, that a coach making a decision like that is okay? Let me be very clear what I mean about integrity of the game. That game was flexed to primetime because it had playoff implications. The Eagles had a chance to play spoiler to Washington. The team they were playing, it's not just because I'm a Giants fan. If this were the Jets and it was the last week of the season and they had a chance to get Trevor Lawrence and all hope was lost and it had no playoff implications, I get it. Then you and I be on the same side. Don't tell me about that. Of course you want to get the number one pick. What do they have to play for? They're giving a guy, look, this wasn't that. They were in the game in the fourth quarter. I'm not even talking about going for it on fourth down and not kicking a field goal. I say go for it. Don't worry about the negative outcome. The coach making that decision is what Joe Judge was talking about. Joe Judge brought up the fact that people had to make all these sacrifices in the pandemic, including understanding things won't be perfect. A team may not play with a quarterback. Another team get their schedule messed with. All that stuff. The point is you can't help that. Those are the things you have to do. So the least we can ask of coaches is that they remain competitive when something is on the line for the NFL. That's the integrity of the game.
How do you think Joe Judge can decipher that? Like, I understand what you're saying. That's all for Philly to take care of. That's the point. The point is Joe Judge don't need to be speaking on that. That's what the bottom line is. When you start talking about integrity, we can have a discussion. I said it too, Stephen A, about Doug Peterson, and he wasn't trying to win the damn game. We could kill, if y'all want to turn this into a kill Doug Peterson for his decision making.
Why can't he say anything if it's wrong? Why can't he speak up if it's wrong? And you're saying it's wrong, and it is disrespecting the game. Why can't Joe Judge voice that?
Molly, Joe Judge is speaking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Think about his incentive for the Philadelphia Eagles winning. All right, I made my point saying he wouldn't have commented on this if it didn't have anything to do with other teams in the NFL. He wouldn't have said anything. Integrity of the league wouldn't have came into play.
Guys, do you think that the coach of the team whose playoff fortunes were squashed by the decision of Peterson is not going to be asked about that choice? Of course Joe Judge is going to be asked about it. What is he supposed to say about it? What is Joe Judge supposed to say, comment about Peterson's decision? Nothing? Right, but that's my point. Normally, the other coach wouldn't comment, but this was so egregious that even though the other coach is a Super Bowl winner and a divisional rival, and Joe Judge is a rookie head coach, Joe Judge has standing to say what he said.
Listen, what I'm saying to you is that he does not, because week 12, we came on the air. We didn't have off until Christmas, if I remember correctly. Okay, matter of fact, we worked on Christmas Day. As of December 6th, the Giants had beaten Seattle 17-12. Their record was 5-7. They were in first place. Molly was smiling. Max was waving the blue and white pom-poms, talking about Big Blue and a playoff berth, controlling their own destiny. And they not only proceeded to lose 3 straight when they were in complete control of their own destiny, but they scored a combined 26 points in 3 games. When you have that level of control and you flop coming into the last week, you don't then turn around and complain about somebody else not winning for you when you lost the 3 previous weeks.
What are you talking
Agree
about?
to
You don't do
disagree.
that.
What are you talking
Agree to
about? 23
disagree.
points. Their offense is
26.
so awesome. Jason Garrett's up for the LA Chargers job.
And you're joking about
Yeah,
that.
you love
because you
Jason
know
Garrett.
how foolhardy that is. Yes.
All right,
That's all I'm
let me
saying.
ask you this. Okay,
I recommend
Stephen A.,
them.
let me
You
come
should
to you
take
on
them.
this.
Go ahead, Molly.
Y'all head
All right,
coaching
all right,
his
all right.
feelings.
Let's move this forward. All right.